terms of matchups, and that's in the Pac-12 with Washington and Oregon. As you guys know, this is a rematch of a match of these two teams had earlier on in the season, in which Washington won by a score of 33-30. Oregon missed a last-second game-tying field goal from the 40-yard line, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong with that one, you guys can correct me. But going to this game, two totally different teams. Oregon, on film, looks like one of the best teams in the country. Their defense has been phenomenal over the last 4 games. And Washington has shown to be more balanced on offense than we were expecting. They've done a much better job of running the ball the past month. And Washington, once again, another team defensively that has improved over the last half of the season. Oregon has shown that they are indeed the most physical team in the Pac-12 after what they did to Oregon State. And Washington has shown that they can compete with physical teams after their performance against Oregon State as well, to go along with their performance against Utah. So both these teams, no question about it, the two best teams in the Pac-12. And if we look at playoff predictor, matchup predictor, my apologies, Oregon actually has a 70% chance, 75% chance of winning this game, which is a little high in my opinion. The spread actually has Oregon minus 9.5, and the over-under is currently at 65.5. So it's going to be about as high of a scoring game as it was last time they matched up together. And I don't think that spread, I don't think the over-under is too far off on that. I do think this game is going to be in the low 30s. I do think both teams have improved tremendously defensively, but both teams are due for an offensive explosion, especially the combination of Michael Penix Jr. and Ode Odunze, who was one of the best receivers in college football. And listen, this game is, compared to the other matches that we'll be discussing, is really simple and straight to the point. Listen, the winner of this game gets into the college football playoff, and it's that simple. And it's hard for me to see a scenario in which the winner of the Pac-12 doesn't get into the college football playoff. Throughout the season, this has been the best conference in college football, and the two best teams here in this conference, both these teams have floated. Washington, more so than Oregon, have floated around that top 4. We know Washington finally got into the top 4 2 weeks ago, probably a little later than they should have. And if Washington wins, they will secure a spot in the college football playoff. And I also think if Oregon wins, they'll secure a spot in the college football playoff as well. And this matchup also features 2 Heisman candidates, with Michael Penix Jr., who will be a Heisman finalist, to go along with Bo Nix, who many consider to be the Heisman frontrunner. And this is due to be an exciting game, perhaps the most exciting game of the weekend, depending what side of the country you live on. And it's wonderful that we're going to get this matchup on Friday to help kickstart conference championship weekend. I do think that this game will be back and forth for the first 3 quarters. I do think these teams are going to go back and forth and trade scores. But similar to how this game ended in earlier in the season, I do think Washington's going to be able to get a couple of key stops. I do think that Washington's going to win this game by a score of 35-28. I do think Washington eventually in the fourth quarter will get out to a 2-possession game. And then Oregon will score again to make it close. And I do think Washington will be able to get a key be able to get a key conversion, 3rd down late in the fourth quarter, to help run out the clock. And I think Washington's going to secure their spot in the college football playoff. So I do have Washington winning this game by a score of, like I said, 35-28. And this is going to be an exciting game, no doubt about it. And what I think is going to be the key separator for this is that Washington's offense is going to make a couple of big plays, not only on third down but also in the passing game. And I think the running attack is going to do a good job of keeping the front seven honest for Oregon, and it's going to do a great job of keeping the defense as a whole for Oregon honest, which means that they won't be able to blitz as much, and they might have to leave an extra lineman in there to help contain the run, which we know is only going to open up the passing game. So, the balance, the newfound balance attack for Washington's offense is going to prove vital for them coming to this game. And like I said, I have Washington defeating Oregon by a score of 35-28. But Oregon's physicality is what's going to keep them in this game, especially in their offensive line. They're going to do a good job of containing pressure for Bo Nix and creating gaps for the running lanes. So it's going to be a great game, but I do have Washington winning this game by a score of 35-28. And Washington will secure their spot in the playoff. But listen, Oregon's been one of the best teams in college football, no question about it. Unfortunately, I do think the loser of this game is eliminated from the college football playoff race, and we'll discuss that later. Later on in this show, like what all the implications will have each team, each game. After we've given all of our predictions, but I do think the loser of this game is eliminated from the college football playoff race. But I do think the winner, whoever wins, will be in the college football playoff. So it's a win-and-in scenario for the Pac-12, from my perspective. And I have Washington winning this game by a score of 35-28. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think in the chat room. I'd love to hear what you guys' thoughts. Do you guys have Oregon winning this game, Washington winning this game? And what do you guys think? I'd love to hear all about it. In our next segment, guys, we are going to be discussing another exciting matchup. And be sure to stick around so you see the games that we're going to be discussing. So be sure to stick around, guys. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.